Hello friends, today we are going to talk about 7 mistakes that 90% of candidates make while making their resumes, and as a result of which they miss their critical chances to their dream companies. Hi, I am Gaurav, and in my roles at various companies and startups, my team and I have led scaling efforts where we had to hire over 4,000 candidates in our teams. And I've seen both sides of the table. From a personal standpoint, I started from an executive engineer level and rose up to the level of president sales leading organizations. In this journey, I learned not just from my own career progression, but also from the careers of thousands of teammates that I had the opportunity to work with. And when I was involved in recruitment, I came across a lot of candidates whose CVs were missing some critical factors due to which, though they had potential, they could not get the job. And in this video, we are going to find out what are those critical factors that you must include in your resume so that you do not do the same mistake. So mistake number 1 is missing professional summary and core skills. Guys, a professional summary is like a teaser to your movie, and just like a good teaser, it must include all the parts that you have played really well in your experience. Guys, the first rule that you should remember while writing a good professional summary for yourself is that you should not downplay yourself. While humility is a very good trait while you are interacting with friends, it is definitely not good on your resume. So make sure that you are including your achievements, awards, all the best works that you have done in a short professional summary that should come at the top of your resume and become a big hook for the recruiter. But what if you are a fresher? Can you still write a good professional summary? And the answer is yes, you can. What you have to do is to include all your volunteerships, projects and activities, any event that you have managed, any bodies that you have led in your college, and that can become a substitute for your experience. And listen, do not forget to include a core skills section just below your professional summary section. Mistake number 2, missing key sections of your resume. Guys, there are some sections that you must include in your resume. First and foremost, a bio section. And a lot of candidates actually miss critical details in the bio sections, like, for example, your phone number. Do not do that, because how would a recruiter contact you even if you are shortlisted? And the other two sections are your work experience and your academic summary. Now, there are a lot of doubts around these two sections. For example, if you are a fresher, you must be wondering what you would include in your work experience. So think of it this way. Whatever experiences can make good proxies for a work experience, you can include them. For example, leadership experience with a club or volunteership with a social service organization. All these are really good proxies for work experience. Now, another question is whether or not you should include academic summary in your resume. And this is especially applicable for professionals who have more than 10 years of experience. Now, the answer is simple. If you have a really good flashable education, do highlight it. On the other hand, if you do not have such an education, you can also create substitutes that indicate your learning ability and spirit. For example, you can include certifications from professional organizations, or you can include courses that you have done from online MOOCs portal. Mistake number 3, your resume is too lengthy. See, if you have a very lengthy resume, it will almost always be rejected by the recruiters because they do not have the time to go through it. So what length should be a good length? See, if you are a fresher with, let's say, 1 to 3 years of experience, a single page format should completely suffice for you. So stick to it. On the other hand, if you have slightly longer experience, let's say 7 years, you can go into 2 pages, but do not just do that for filling up the space. Try to include as much relevant information in your resume as you can. There is one exception to this guideline. If you belong to an academic field and your list of research papers is running into 3 pages, include it, but do it as a bibliography sort of thing at the end of your resume. Mistake number 4, your resume is not aligned to your job description. See, if you want your resume to get shortlisted, you must align it to the description of the job that you are applying to. And does that mean that you have to make a separate resume for every job that you apply to? And the hard answer would be Yes. So how do you match these two documents? Well, first of all, study the job description in detail and find out terms that represent the exact experiences that you carry. Next, include these terms in your resume wherever they fit in naturally. Mistake number 5. Making generic statements in your resume. Do not make generic statements in your resume. A generic statement is not going to get you the interview call. So instead of making statements like responsible for sales of financial products in the area, add specific details like awards that you have won, any achievements, any appreciation that you have gotten from the company, and add comparisons with the peers. Now just compare the earlier statement that I made with this statement. Achieved 125% of the quota allocated of financial products, that is insurance, bank accounts, third party products, by conducting 50 plus activation events in the area, ranked within top 3 sales reps for the year 2022 globally. Now look at that statement and see how do you feel about it. Which candidate would you pick up if you were the recruiter? Mistake number 6. Skills not displayed in the resume. See, in your resume, you need to sprinkle words that represent certain skill sets that are required for that particular job. Guys, words are very powerful. For example, using a word like assisted shows that you have helped in a particular activity. On the other hand, if you are using a word like coordinated, it shows that you have managed that particular activity. Similarly, if you are using a word like analytical in your resume, it shows that you have worked on data to find out patterns, and which becomes a very important skill for certain jobs. See guys, I'm not advising you to lie on your resume. I'm just asking you to use the right words that at least describe your efforts properly. Mistake number 7. Missing active language from your resume. See, nobody wants to hear a boring account of events. That is probably the single biggest reason why people like action movies more than documentaries. So use active language like led, spearheaded, contributed, analyzed that show some involvement and self-drive instead of words like responsible for that show that you have been assigned something forcibly. So folks, these 7 mistakes, if avoided properly, will turn your average looking resume into a rockstar resume which will pull the recruiter by the throat and get him to your resume. Guys, it is said that just by avoiding mistakes, you can actually get to the top 10% of the group, as most people do not even do that. So let's do that with your resume today and see the results. Let me know in comments how you found this video, and see you again with more such content.